Okay, guys, so here we go. Today we have our new session. Okay, before we go ahead and we have to complete our numbers. The last heading in our chart is remaining, and that's what numbers in English. All right, how to make sentences with numbers. So numbers can be any numbers. Okay, it can be more than 2 or more than 2. Okay, minimum 2 or more than 2. We can have any numbers, and we are going to make sentences with it. As we have seen before, determiners and quantifiers with countable and uncountable determiners. For example, some, a lot of, any. We have done many, much, a few, a little, few, little, fewer, less. Now today we are going to have numbers. Numbers can be any numbers. Numbers can be any numbers. 3, 7, 78, 98, million, billion, trillion, zillion. You can take any numbers and you have to make sentences with it. All right, you can make any sentences with the numbers. So the numbers will have like this. For example, plural countable noun, we are going to make sentences with numbers. For example, there are 7 lanterns. Are there 7 lanterns? There aren't any lanterns. There are 9 speakers. Are there 9 speakers? There aren't any speakers. There are 74 students. Are there 74 students? There aren't any students. There are 90 pillows. Are there 90 pillows? There aren't any pillows. Okay, so I want you to make sentences with numbers. So 7, 98, 89, 49, million, billion, trillion, zillion. You can take any number and you can make sentences over here with numbers. All right, hello, I hope all of you are listening me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sir.
So here we go, sentences with numbers. Okay, there are 7 speakers. Are there 7 speakers? There aren't any speakers. There are 9 bananas. Are there 9 bananas? There aren't any bananas. There are 5 pillows. Are there 5 pillows? There aren't any pillows. There are billion screens. Are there billion screens? There aren't any screens. There are million people. Are there million people? There aren't any people. So you are going to make sentences with your numbers. So take sentences one by one, one by one. Okay. First Jyotsna ma'am, next Chaitali ma'am, next Karthik, next Shivdas, next Pradeep, next Ankit, next Umair. Okay. Let's start one by one, one by one. Yes, madam. Jyotsna ma'am. Okay, Chaitali madam, please start.
There are 4 cups. Are there 4 cups? There aren't any cups.
Next, Karthik.
There are 4 car. Are there 4 car? There aren't any car.
Cars, cars, plural.
Car.
4 cars. Next. Next. Shivdas.
There are 2 guards. Are there 2 guards? There aren't any guards.
Good. Next.
There are few units. Are there any few? Are there a few units? There aren't any units.
My dear, you have to take any numbers, not few. Take numbers and make sentences. Numbers. Continue.
There are 3 kids. Are there 3 kids? There aren't any kids.
Any. Next.
There are billion there are billion COVID patients. Are there billion COVID patients? There aren't any COVID patients.
There are 9 monkeys. Are there 9 monkeys? There aren't any monkeys.
There are 4 photos. Are there 4 photos? There aren't any photos.
Good. Next.
There are 10 apples. Are there 10 apples? There aren't any apples.
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 Next.
There are
advocate. Are there any advocate? There aren't any advocate.
Advocates, plural. Next.
Yeah.
there are 4 fans. Are there 4 fans? There aren't any fans.
Very good. Next. Next.
There are 7 units. Are there 7 units? There aren't any units.
Good. Next.
There are a billion ideas. Are there billion ideas? There aren't any ideas.
Nice. Next. Next. Yudas.
There are 4 officers. Are there 4 officers? There aren't any officers.
Officers. Next.
There are 8 casino. Are there any casino? There aren't any casino.
Casinos. Casinos.
Casino.
Next.
There are 4 brothers. Are there 4 brothers? There aren't any brothers.
Good. Next.
There are 4. There are 10 mobiles. Are there 10 mobiles? There aren't any mobiles.
Good. Next.
There are 6 users. Are there 6 users? There aren't any users.
Users.
There are 4 advantages. Are there 4 advantages? There aren't any advantages.
Advantages. Very good. Next.
There are 10 dairies. Are there 10 dairies? There aren't any dairies.
Very good. Any theories. Next.
There are 50 uniform. Are there any uniform? There aren't any uniforms.
Good. Next.
There are 7 wonders. Are there 7 wonders? There aren't any wonders.
Very good. Next.
There are 12 diary. Are there 12 diary? There aren't any diary.
Diaries.
There
Next.
are a billion features. Are there a billion features? There aren't any features.
Good. Next.
There are million ideas. Are there million ideas? There aren't any ideas.
Good. Next.
There are 100 officers. Are there any officers? There aren't any officers.
Officers. Next.
There are 3 toppers. Are there 3 toppers? There aren't any toppers.
Next.
There are 2 princes. Are there 2 princes? There aren't any prince.
Prince. Very good. Next.
There are 100
studios.
strawberries.
Studios.
Are there
There
100
aren't any
strawberries?
studios.
100 videos. Next.
There are 2 solicitors. Are there 2 solicitors? There aren't any solicitors.
Very good. Next.
There are 2 conflicts. Are there any conflicts? There aren't any conflicts.
Next. Kiran. Make sentences faster. Next.
There are zillion stars. Are there zillion stars? There aren't any stars.
Very nice. Next.
There are 5 rotten apples. Are there 5 rotten apples?
Rotten
There
apples.
aren't any rotten apples.
Rotten apples. Very good. Rotten apples. Next.
There are 12 fins. Are there 12 fins? There aren't any fins.
Good. Next.
There are 20 servants. Are there 20 servants? There aren't any servants.
Very nice. Next.
There are 4 bodies. Are there 4 bodies? There aren't any bodies.
Very nice. Next. Kiran. Pradeep. Shivdas. Sania.
There are
There
4
are-
fins. Are there 4 fins? There aren't any fins.
Very good. Next.
There are 4 barristers. Are there any barristers? There aren't any barristers.
Barristers. Very good. Next.
There are 3 cops. Are there 3 cops? There aren't any cops.
Very good. Next.
There are 3
5
unions.
lawyers. Are there 5
There
lawyers?
aren't-
There aren't any 5 lawyers.
Next.
There are 7 flowers. Are there 7 flowers? There aren't any flowers.
Good. Next.
There are 2 children. There are 2 children. There aren't any children.
Very good. Next.
There are 2 satchels. Are there any satchels? There aren't any satchels.
Very good. Rachna ma'am.
There are 13 lotus. Are there 13 lotus? There aren't any lotus.
Very good. Lotus.
There are 50 mobiles. Are there 50 mobiles? There aren't any mobiles.
Very good. Mobiles. Next.
There are
There are-
10 cushions. Are there 10 cushions? There aren't any cushions.
Very good. Next.
There are 1,000 candidates. Are there 1,000 candidates? There aren't any candidates.
Next.
There are 10 hangers. Are there any hangers? There aren't any hangers.
Good. Next.
There are 10 matches. Are there 10 matches? There aren't any matches.
Good. Next.
There are 100 astrologers. Are there 100 astrologers? There aren't any astrologers.
Very good. Next.
There are 8 toys. Are there 8 toys? There aren't any toys.
Very good. Next.
There are 10 islands. Are there 10 islands? They aren't any islands.
There are for
Next.
Sunday. Are there any Sunday? There aren't any Sundays.
Sundays. Next.
So there are no maids. Are there no maids? There aren't any maids.
Good. Next.
There are 2 books. Are there 2 books? There aren't any books.
Good. Next.
There are 3 beds. Are there 3 beds? There aren't any beds.
Very good. Next.
There are 10
There are-
mediums. Are there 10 mediums? They aren't any mediums.
Mediums. Very good. Next.
There
Sir,
are
many
two
use
couple are
Yeah, we can use many. Many matlab bahut, but we are making sentences with numbers today. Numbers, so we can take any numbers. For example, there are 4 mats. There are 9 doors. We have 12 students. We have 5 cars. There are 10 chairs. We can make sentences with this.
Okay, sir.
Good. Next.
There are million thoughts. Are there million thoughts? There aren't any thoughts.
Next.
there are
There are
two
5
couples.
butlers.
Are there any couples? There aren't any couples.
Yes, ma'am. Repeat.
There are 5 butlers. Are there 5 butlers? There aren't any butlers.
Next.
There are 2 sandwiches. Are there 2 sandwiches? There aren't any sandwiches.
There
Are
are
there
8 neutrons. Are there 8 neutrons? They aren't any neutrons.
Very good.
There are 20 invoices. Are there any invoices? There aren't any invoices.
Good.
There
Next.
are 2 cups. Are there 2 cups? There aren't any cups.
Very good. Next.
There are
There are
100
5
trees. Are there 100 trees? There aren't any trees.
Very good.
There are 5 frames. Are there 5 frames? There aren't any frames.
Very good. 5 friends. Are there any friends? There aren't any friends. Next.
There are 6 pyramids. Are there 6 pyramids? There aren't any pyramids.
Pyramids. Next.
There are 5 squares. Are there 5 squares? There aren't any squares.
Very good. Next.
There are
हे
2
पण बंद
books.
कर.
Are there any utensils? There aren't any utensils.
Good. Next.
There are 1,000 graves. Are there 1,000 graves? There aren't any graves.
Good. Next.
There are billion data. Are there billion data? They aren't any data.
Nice. Next.
There are 2 love apple. Are there any love apple? There aren't
Love
any love
apples.
apple.
Love apple. Good. Next.
Amis.
Next.
There are 8 pans. Are there 8 pans? There aren't any pans.
Next.
There are 8. Continue.
There are a million albums. Are there million albums? They aren't any albums.
Albums.
There are
There
20.
are 8 chargers. Are there 8 chargers? There aren't any 8 chargers.
Any.
There aren't
Very
any
good.
chargers.
All right. So by the way, let us finish over here. Now today I'm going to show you your schedule for coming week. Okay. From the coming week and onwards, from today onwards, we are going to follow the schedule. All right. As you can see here, the schedule in front of you. On Monday, we'll have vocabulary. Vocabulary means what?
Sir.
Word power. Please all of you mute yourself. Yes.
Schedule and schedule same, na?
Yeah. Schedule is American sound and schedule is British sound. Otherwise,
Okay.
both are the same. Good. Now, can you please mute yourself, all of you? Now, if you see, this is the schedule for today onwards. We are going to follow the schedule and we are going to learn English. And see the way I have made the schedule for you. On Monday, we are going to have here only vocabulary. Okay? On Monday, we are going to have vocabulary means what? शब्दकोश. Word power. अभी अपने को बोलने नहीं आता ना English. अरे यार मला बोलायला इतना ह्याला काय म्हणतात, त्याला काय म्हणतात, ह्याला काय म्हणतात, त्याला काय म्हणतात. So that's called vocabulary. So vocabulary in English we are going to see on Monday. Monday के दिन हम लोग देखेंगे vocabulary. English में किसको कौन सी चीज को क्या बोलते हैं, कैसे बोलते हैं, क्यों बोलते हैं, कब बोलते हैं, etc. Next on Tuesday we are going to have grammar. grammar. We are going to learn grammar on Tuesday. On Wednesday and Thursday, we are going to have sentences and tenses. Present tense, past tense, future tenses वगैरह जो होते हैं ना, तो tenses and sentences we are going to learn on Wednesday and Thursday, 2 days. Next, on Friday, we are going to have reading and speaking. Reading and speaking. Reading and speaking. मतलब आपको reading भी करना आना चाहिए, speaking भी. And on Saturday, we are going to have vocabulary. Sometimes we are going to have sounds. Sometimes we are going to have presentations, debates, group discussions, speaking and all. All right. So Saturday का दिन जो रहेगा पूरा भेलपुरी बनाने का इसका grammar, vocabulary, tenses, sentences, reading, speaking. Saturday के दिन आके इधर बोलना start करने का. So this is your schedule for today onwards. You're going to follow this schedule and we're going to have it regularly. Okay. So please don't be absent from onwards. Now, why? Because if you'll be absent, you'll be responsible for yourself, because we are going to start our main thing. Now today we have finished our basic. Basic we have finished completely. Hamara basic completely finished ho gaya hai aaj. Okay. Now our batch is switching into intermediate. Abhi hamara batch intermediate mein switch kar raha hai. Basic hamare class ka finish ho chuka hai. So basic sentences we have seen, basic sounds we have seen, basic grammar we have seen, basic sentences, tenses and all we have seen, and basic things we have seen in speaking as well. Now from onwards we are going to start with our intermediate class. आज से हमारा intermediate class start होने वाला है and we are going to learn something new. So let's get started with it. All right? Just a minute.